Africa. Africa is where everything began. It's one of the most beautiful continents, second largest and second most populous in the world. And its people were known to be very generous, traditional, and to live a natural life, full of cultural diversity, languages, and dance. Situated in the central of Africa is Cameroon, which alone holds around 500 different languages. The continent has terrific sceneries, architectures, and fashion styles with the world's richest resources and opportunities than anywhere else. But still, many people are physically and mentally poor due to the repercussion of slavery when our ancestors were captured and brought to America in the 15 to 1600s. Against their will, they were forced to work free labour in plantations to produce cotton, sugar and rum. Before they were forcefully shipped away from their homeland, they lived in peace and had everything. Hairstyles specifically identified different tribes, groups and clans. Hair and dance was a very important cultural part for many African people. Each woman and man's background or social status was defined by their look or hairstyle. So to have more control and deprive them from their African roots and culture, the colonies cut their hair and branded them with hot iron instead. They were soon after stopped from communicating and speaking their languages and dancing, which was a part of them. Almost everything that contributed to keeping their culture alive was disappearing once they arrived on the other side of the world. The truth is, when you are stripped away from your culture, you become like an empty book, ready to take anything it's exposed to. The hair care routine was one of the most valuable times for women. It was a time to catch up, share ideas, plan, innovate and laugh with each other. Before setting off on the journey they never returned from, men, women and children were all shaved, and for many of these African tribes it was a profound sacrilege. And this is where our ancestors really started to lose their identity. In the name of capitalism, after 3 months of travel in the most undignified way, the Africans arrived in islands in America. Families were ripped apart from their loved ones, sent over to different plantations to start work. Soon after being scattered away, the African people were denied of speaking their language, or to do their hair as they wished, or dance, causing a lot of disruption and upset. The plan of the colonies here was to erase everything that linked us to Africa, our true identity. Their ways of living were about to change forever. Stripping someone's culture results in loss of identity, and mostly the repercussion on our children and the future generations to come. Knowing our history is the start of a better future. Being enslaved and being told what to do and what not to do, our traditions started disappearing and the beauty standards imposed on us was that fairer skin was more beautiful. The aim was to make us feel that darker skin tones were not attractive. Therefore, many African people started thinking that being beautiful was to have fairer skin. During slavery, sadly, a lot of enslaved women were abused by their masters or plantation workers. Therefore, this resulted in a lot of mixed-race children that were being sold more expensive than darker children. After years of being brainwashed, our ancestors started believing that to be beautiful they had to have fairer skin, curly or straight hair. We are unique and have to start embracing who we truly are. Consciously and unconsciously, we are starting to pass generations to generations this thought of not loving who we truly are. Because of the more consideration that was given to the slaves with fairer skin that was sold more expensive and treated well, they received better jobs than those on the plantations. Therefore, the darker slaves started believing that they weren't important due to their appearance. This created a sense of superiority between the dark and lighter skins, the very first form of separation between us. During the 17 to 1800s, slave women used bacon grease to care for their hair. In the mid-1700s, all free black women that were also free to style their hair would have extravagant and beautiful hairstyles. Because of the beauty black women were representing in society, with rage, white women demanded and voted for a law that would oblige all coloured women to cover their hair. In order to follow the Tignon law, all coloured women bought different fabrics full of colours and began to be creative. The way they wrapped it around their hair was extraordinary and soon after followed with different styles. They were more beautiful and attractive even when their hair was wrapped. In 1865, after the abolishment of slavery, many were left scarred, still believing fair skin, curly or straight hair was the beauty standard, or to access different schools and jobs, they had to look a certain way. Madam C.J. Walker took this opportunity to create wealth through hair products. She created products that soften our hair naturally. Madam C.J. Walker was the first female millionaire to make money through hair products. So we are living in a world today where if we don't have straight or soft hair, or don't look a certain way, we can access certain things like jobs or opportunities. Do for that reason some people have to turn to relaxers that will destroy their hair or scalp after? Just before the death of Madam C.J. Walker, a young man named Gareth Morgan created relaxers because apparently if you didn't have straight or soft hair, you weren't civilized. So many people started relaxing their hair. With or without a job or opportunity, everyone knew that was the only way to live a civilized life. At the time when you were obliged to cover your hair because it was extremely attractive, to the time where you had to relax your hair just to live civilized. Everything needed to be done so that black women wouldn't feel confident enough to show their natural hair because it was attractive and unique. During the Vietnam War in the 60s, the Americans made a test with the Native Americans to see how they can kill the Vietnamese easily. What they did was to have certain native men shaved and others keep their hair long. The Americans made an attack on them without warning, and the natives with long hair were already aware of the attack, as the supernatural reason they kept it long was because of the strong intuition it gave them. Hair represents an extension of the nerve system, therefore it's very important to keep your natural hair. While Ethiopians were resisting against the Italian military, they never cut their hair and kept a strong front until the war ended. Ethiopia was one of the African countries that has never been colonized. Today we have many repercussions of relaxers and chemical use on our hair, and it isn't our fault as it started centuries ago. The good news is, we are the generation that needs to change things and our mindset about our appearance and how we do things. Margaret Oliver, an American journalist, was fired from her job because she refused to wear hair extensions. Not long ago, a South African young girl was denied to go into her class because of her afro. Why shouldn't they have the freedom to wear their hair as they please? 3 to 4 years ago, the industry of hair extensions was worth about $3 billion, and black people only benefit 2%, making us predominantly consumers to the market we spend so much in. Many parents nowadays relax their child's hair due to the time saved or not knowing how to manage it, without knowing the damaging effects on their children's health. Wouldn't you love to leave a legacy for the future black girls after us to embrace and love their hair? To finally put an end to all the degradation installed in us centuries ago?